Welcome back to another review by Mega Train Lover. Today we are having a look at the first of three locos which I purchased at the London Festival of Railway Modelling. The first one, as you can see, is a Hornby locomotive. No prizes for guessing that. You can probably tell from the picture on the box that this is definitely a Southern Region engine. And indeed, it is a BR S15 class, number 30842. Turn to the side, its product code is R3412, and this has the early emblem, as you can see just there. And just looking at it, you can clearly tell that this is a Maunsell designed locomotive. Obviously they had a very characteristic look. It also looks very similar to a King Arthur, but this was essentially the goods version of the King Arthur class. That was known as the N15. This is the S15. Now, excuse me. Now, if we turn to the back, you can see there's tons of information about the class. So basically, these engines had the classification of 6F in BR days. So these engines were first built in 1920, and they were designed by Robert Urey. And in total, 45 were built up to 1936, and all of them were built at Eastleigh Works. When Richard Maunsell took over as Chief Mechanical Engineer for the Southern Region, he made a few modifications. Now, these were built in 3 batches. So the first batch was built from 1920 to 1921 by Robert Urey. The second from 1927 to 28 by Maunsell, and then the third by Maunsell in 1936. All 45 survived into BR days, and all of them were scrapped by about 1965. This particular one was scrapped as well. If we look on the last paragraph, so this one was built, 30845 was built in 1936, and it was withdrawn in 1965. 7 of these are left in preservation. Most of them have run, though most of them are currently either awaiting overhaul or are undergoing overhaul. One of them is operational, and that's number 847 on the Bluebell Railway. Now, the model isn't actually in the box, because this box, although the packaging is really good, to actually slide where the loco is kept, to slide it out is an absolute pain. It's just so tightly packed, as you can see. So, as you can see, it's fine. So it's not in the box, but I'd rather just leave the hassle of having to do that in the review. So I'm just going to put the box to one side, and the locomotive is just here, as you can see. As you can also see, I've removed the tender. The tender is just here. Now, I'll put that to one side, and we'll have a look at the loco. Wow. Wow. Just look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, the level of detail on this is just exquisite. Absolutely exquisite. If we start at the front, the two headco discs, I've added these myself. So this has been out of the box, and I've given it a run in, tested everything, DCC'd it. So yeah, and no spoilers, but it is a really nice performer. I've just spoiled it. Oh well. Anyway, so let's look at the front. So you can see it has a very characteristic look of a Maunsell locomotive, even though these were originally designed by Urey. They were later modified by Maunsell. You get sprung buffers on the front, and there's its number 30842 and the shed code of 72A, which I'm not too sure which one it is, but I'll have a look. At the front, this bit of detail I've added myself. This is to protect the coupling hook when it is slung down. You can see there's also a step ladder just beneath the smoke box door, and you can also see the additional 2 brackets which hold the head coat discs in. So obviously the southern region, they used head coat discs instead of lamps. Well, they used lamps during the night, but during the day they used these head coat discs. So the southern engines had an extra 2 brackets either side of the smoke box door. Now if we turn to the other side, now you can see the livery is fairly basic, but that is the be-all for you. It's very accurate, but nonetheless the locomotive does look really, really nice. The valve gear in particular is, well, it's really, really nicely modelled. The Walshards valve gear is just very, very nice. Right down to what appears to be the lubricator just on top there. You can see all the slide bars and then the coupling and the eccentric rods, all really, really nicely applied. There's a separately fitted handrail running along both sides of the boiler, as well as this pipe here separately fitted, as is the one on the other side. I'm not too sure what this is, but if you do know, please let me know. The bar behind it, that is the reversing bar, that's also separately fitted. And you can also see the safety valves there with the whistle, those are all separately fitted. And there's its number, 30842, and then above it is the power classification of 6F. You can also see the injectors beneath the cab, which is really, really nice. Speaking of the cab, are you ready for this? Boom. That is stunning. No word of a lie, that is one of the best cabs I have ever seen. You can clearly see, just put this down. Can this be put down? Yeah, it can. Yeah. The step plate can be put down as well. You can clearly see the regulator in the middle, the reverser on the left, and all the gauges and the dials. Basically everything is there. That is a very, very nice touch. Also, like the cream colour of the cab roof. That's a very, very nice touch. And I can confirm that that does look like the real thing, because I have seen the cab of 847 on the Bluebell Railway, and basically it's all accurate. It's really, really nice. On the left, that is the reverser, and then this is the regulator in the middle. Yeah, basically this is just a beautiful cab. Very, very nice. So there's not much else on the engine apart from all that fantastic detail. Now the next thing to look at is the tender. So we just put the engine down. Now the tender is absolutely huge. Just look at that. Obviously the southern region didn't have water troughs, because the locos didn't run very, very great distances. Well, okay, they did run quite long distances, but not long enough to justify the need for water troughs. So the southern region engines were fitted with massive tenders. Not too sure how many gallons this is, but wow, it's a huge tender. As you can see, it's got bogie wheels as opposed to other tenders which have a fixed rigid undercarriage. This one has bogie wheels. If we turn to the front, you can see the handbrake there. And the coal does look to be removable. In fact, yes. Yeah, does look to be removable. I'm not going to remove it, but you know, if you want to, you can take it out and then put your own coal in, which is a really, really nice touch. Now at the back you get the water filler caps, and I'm not too sure what these are. If anyone knows what these are, because they're visible, they're present on the Bully Pacifics as well. If anyone knows what these 3 tanks are, please let me know. I'd really, really appreciate it. At the back you get sprung buffers. What I do find quite interesting is, considering the size of the engine, the buffers are very small. But you know, it still is a very, very nice touch. You also get the lamp irons for, well, when the engine is running either light engine or going in reverse. But no, that is really, really nice. At the bottom you get the brake rods here. You have to fit yourself, in addition to the brake shoes, which are fitted with the brake rods. And you get a NEM coupling at the back. You also get one at the front, although I haven't fitted a coupling at the front, which is absolutely fine. And you get the early British Railways logo, or emblem rather, just there in the middle. So yeah, all in all, I am very, very impressed with this model. And Hornby have seriously showed that they can make really, really nice models. I mean, it's for an engine of its size, it's got quite a lot of character. But the next thing to do is to see how she performs on the track. So we'll put her on and give her a go. So here we have the Hornby S15 on the track. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put her number in, which is number 37, I think. And off she goes. So I've set the controller to halfway, and wow, she's running very well. I love the valve here. Now let's get a few shots of her passes. So yeah, as you can see, she's running very well. So just to conclude this video, I highly recommend her. She's very well detailed, very nice performer, and especially if you're a southern region modeler, she's an essential class to have on your layout. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next review. Goodbye.